After our last video, your audio is rocking and you're all set for your call. And then
this happens. Your outgoing feed looks like it was recorded on a potato.
Get that out of here. That was awful. In the last video, I said that audio was more important than video. Still true, but you want to look sharp with the best video you can have when you can have it. Especially if your network is beefy with low latency and good bandwidth to handle the video traffic. What are some of the things to be concerned about when it comes to my outgoing and incoming video? Well, first, let's look at how we get our video out. We want to make sure we have a good camera. Many people use the camera on their laptop or their device. That's totally okay if that's all you have to work with. But honestly, when you use the built-in camera on your laptop, you're kind of left to the mercy of the manufacturer. Sometimes the camera angle will not be in the best position for face-to-face communication, or it might pick up room light or background movement that you might not want in your shot. Also, we need to think about the resolution and frame rate of the camera. This is going to determine how much information your camera sends down your internets. You might think buying that really expensive 4K camera with an absurd frame rate is the best thing you could do for your video quality, but that might very well not be true. Sometimes, when our network is saturated or being used by everyone in the house, sending a video signal that is a high resolution and frame rate might distort your outgoing video or send a choppy or fuzzy image. A 720p camera might ultimately look better on the far end than a 1080 or 4K image. So that extra money might be better invested in something like good audio or lighting. For those tips, check out our other videos. We also want to look at the camera framing or shot. Is the image we are sending capturing too much of the background? Is the camera angle too wide? Is it too narrow? Is the camera position too close or too far from my face? Does my camera have a lens that is zoomable? Sometimes you want a more narrow or tighter lens on your camera, like when you're at your desk. Sometimes you might need a camera that has a really wide angle, like when you're demonstrating activities or showing a product. The angle that your camera sits is also pretty important. You don't want your camera too low. Everyone will be looking up your nose. And you don't want it too high or too far to either side. You want your camera to have the same view as a person would if you were having an in-person conversation with them, eye level, framing your face without cutting off the top or bottom of your head. So let's talk about outboard cameras for a second. Like I said, you don't have to spend a ton of money on a broadcast quality camera. Many of the cameras you purchase online or at a big box electronics store will work just fine. A camera that has a good high-definition image sensor and something that you can mount on a tripod or on top of your monitor will do great. You want to make sure that you can mount your camera as close to eye level as possible. If you are using multiple monitors, you want to mount it on top of or in front of the monitor that your chat window is on. A camera with a USB connection and cable will be flexible as to where you can mount it. Again, you can always use the camera that's built into your device, but that somewhat limits your flexibility and options. Another thing we need to think about is our background. What else besides your face is the camera picking up? What does your background look like? Is your room tidy? Are there things in the background that you don't want people outside of your home or family to see? Are there important papers or information that other people can pick up or discern from your video feed? Does your remote work area look like a professional environment, or does it look like you've been banished to the laundry room? Sometimes moving the camera angle just a little bit can take things out of that camera shot that we don't want our far end to see. Many conferencing platforms allow you to use a digital background. If your natural background is untidy or unprofessional looking, using a digital background will help your feed look much more polished and not require you to sanitize your house every time you make a video call. Also, many platforms have a setting for a green screen. A green screen setting will allow you to put up a solid color background, and it will map your digital background on that color and that color only. It will make for a much sharper background and key image. Before your call, set your system up. Position your camera where you think it will pick you up best and test your feed. Many of the video chatting or conferencing platforms or apps will let you see your camera feed, and you can adjust your camera position and settings. Test your outgoing feed with a friend or coworker. Ask them about your video stream. Is it jumpy? Is it clear and focused, or fuzzy and pixelated? Does the audio match up with the video stream? You also want to be familiar with the platform settings, where they are located, and what your setting options are. Make sure that the camera you want to send is selected and active in the platform settings. Is the selected camera the one that you want, and is the selected shot framed well? Do you have to switch cameras for any reason during the call, like to a document camera or a secondary video feed for an activity? Test all of these things prior to using them live. Your camera, laptop or device, and software platform are all tools that you will need to be proficient with prior to using them for work. Again, you don't have to break the bank on equipment. Many IT departments will equip you with good quality peripherals if you request them. If you don't have an IT department, a great video experience is still possible on a budget with a little online research and by following these tips. They'll make you shine like the video conference star you are.